What is good? Time in the hobby hideout. Finally, I'm back. I have some good content. I was playing Ibly Sprite for Nat, so nothing really too major to report there. Nothing too out of the normal, like out of the ordinary. Uh, I finally have a cool combo to show you. Actually, a bunch of cool combos to show you, as well as a little deck profile at the end. Before I get into it, though, shout out DB Grinder and 037 Wolf. DB Grinder wasn't the first guy I saw do the hand rip, but he was the first one that I saw make established two-card combos. He made an Assault, Jet, and a Revolution combo. Not with all three of those. One of those plus right, any of those plus right is going to be a hand rip for 5. So I'm going to show those same combos, but what happens when you draw trail? This is like the one brick in the deck. I was noticing I was drawing trail in tournament in locals and stuff, and I was just like taking way too long. I didn't know what to do when I drew trail, so I finally went back, made some combos. I tried to look at them for the regional, but did not end up doing too well. But it is good to know these. Another thing DB Grinder showed was a Tengu combo with Revolution, full combo, rips 5 cards out. I was not playing Tengu though. I was opted to play Carrier in Revo, which you'll see in the list. It's searchable off of the tuning and allows you to have a non-tuner when you don't draw the Brave Engine. If you have Carrier plus Revo, which can be searched, they can both be searched off tuning, and tuning's not once per turn. You can make just a speeder without any brave stuff, just a bare speeder, and that can still rip 5 cards out of your opponent's hand. So I'll show you that combo as well. And I'll also show a slightly improved right combo with Assault Synchron. It's the same thing as DB Grinders, except it also ends on a Scarlet, so it's a little better for the follow-up for the clapback for the OTKs. But yeah, let's get into it. We're going to start off pretty standard here. Just going. And notice how I searched the Griffin before the spell card. I do that to chain block with the Fateful, but also because you don't want to play in a Droll. So keep that in mind. We're tagging out for the Stardust here to make our speeder unaffected. Sorry, I wasn't saying what was going on before. Pretty much we just went Excel to bring back the Jet Synchron, sorry. And now we're Chain Link 1, Stardust, Chain Link 2 to search the Draco back. We didn't chain block this because it was already unaffected, so we don't need to chain block it. Now we go into Scrap, E-Tally out from deck. And we're still getting value from deck with the spell card, with the Illumination, because we had a Stardust on the field. Now we're going to go Crimson, get the spell card, the field spell, and we're going to start making Gothams. This is every 1 counter counts as 2 counters on our field spell. I just didn't feel like putting 2. And now we're attributing a Stardust for a Stardust. So Stardust Synchron tribute for Stardust Synchron, which will trigger our trail. And now we're going to make trail level 3 by banishing our Illumination, synchroning it off into an Excel. Because we made a Synchron with the trail, we'll go trail, Chain Link 2, getting a token level 1, and the Excel will send the level 2, making a level 7, and then we'll make a level 8 with the token. We'll make Omega, and we'll get more counters on our Synchro World. Tagging out our Crimson and Trishula. Trishula rip a card, bring back the Revo, sync with Trishula, make the Disbatter, gets we have technically 10 counters now on Synchro World. We're going to rip a card with Omega, Disbatter, bring it back, rip another card with Omega. You always want to rip with Omega first, and you never want to rip with Gothams until you have that Disbatter, just in case you rip something like a Dark World card, or you rip like a tier or something. You want to be able to negate that card. And now you're just doing your double Gothams rip by reviving it with your Synchro World. So that's the first combo when you draw the brick. Now the next one's going to be your Revolution and your right combo when you draw the brick. This was a harder one because you don't get as much value off of the Stardust Synchron with Revolution because you have nothing to bring back with it. With that said, You saw me search this first, never search this first. We're going to make a Baron, mill 1 for Revo, bring it back, make our Speeder. Now, Speeder will be unaffected here, so that's nice. Your Speeder will go, not unaffected, sorry. You will have a Baron for your Speeder negate, to negate anything that would mess with Speeder. Jeez. Now, Stardust searches your spell. Now, we're going to do something crazy here. This is the only way I can think of to actually make the combo work. We're going to Synchro off into a Crimson Dragon with our Baron. So we lose the negate, so we do fall vulnerable to nib here. Although what I notice is a lot of people will actually not know this is coming. They will nib you first, or they will try to hit this with a hand trap, and you'll already serve your purpose of your Baron negate. But I'd rather rip 5, so I think this combo is actually worth it to lose your Baron. Anyways, we will now make our scrap into our Gothams, get 2 counters on our thing, tag out for Trishula. That's a 3rd counter, which is actually 6 counters. We're going to mill our Stardust Synchron with our Illumination. Since we don't have a Stardust anymore, we cannot special it, but it's okay. We'll tribute to special the Stardust by tributing Trish, and now we'll do Chain Links Assault plus Trail. We'll get back to Trish, and we'll get out the Trail, Synchro into our Omega. Now that should be another counter on our field spell. And we will bring back the Jet Synchron, which will allow us to make Disbatter. And we can do our standard, rip 4 more cards, Omega bring it back, rip again, Disbatter, bring back Omega, Omega rip again, and then Gothams rip twice because of the field spinner. The field spell, not center. Now let's go to our Assault Synchron combo with Trail and Right. Now, this starts off really standard. We're just going to summon our Enchantress here. Now, I normally do like this to chain block the Speeder. So we're going to chain block the Speeder. It's going to summon out 4. Stardust effect is going to grab us the spell. Synchro into an Excel. Excel bring back Stars Assault. Synchro with the token to draw 1 off of the thing. And then we're going to special out the Stardust Synchron because we control a Stardust from the deck. And now we just tag out the Stardust into Stardust, make a Crimson that's unaffected, not that that matters. And we play our field spell. Now, first Synchro is going to be the Scrap. Then we'll go into Gothams. Then we'll tag out for Trish. Then we'll tag Trish out for Assault. And then we have Assault and Trail. Chain Link 1, Chain Link 2. Trail will Synchro into an Omega with the Stardust. And now we'll bring back the Revolution and Synchro with Trishula into Disbatter. And you'll see I got him tripped twice here. You want to hit with Omega first so you have that potential to negate effects because you want to banish something so Disbatter's live. But yeah, then you rip 5. So moving on, we're going to show off the Carrier and the Revolution combo. Now this is pretty much just a Speeder, just a Bear Speeder. So you have very little protection. Obviously, if you draw Cross Out, that's nice. Or if you draw like a Called By, that's good. But yeah, you're pretty much just going to go into your Excel. It looks pretty standard if you've seen DB Grinder's video. But we don't have any Brave stuff. So we're down a non-tuner. Good thing Trail makes a token, which is nice. That's another non-tuner. But we're going to tag out into Stardust, make Crimson. Crimson's unaffected. We're going to be able to search to the field spell. And now we're going to make Trail a level 3. Make our Excel dump, and Trail will make a token. Excel's a level 7, we'll make a Scrap Dragon, and then we'll make a Gothams. We'll tag out into a Trish, Tribute Trish, summon back Stardust, Assault, and Trail will come back. Synchro into Omega, and bring back the Revolution, and make a Disbatter. Omega effect, rip, bring back Omega effect, rip, and then Gotham's rip twice. And I will say this now, if there is ever a time in any of these combos where I use Revolution Synchron twice, I don't know if there is, I haven't really watched in that much detail, just use the Jet Synchron instead of the second Revolution Synchron. I feel like that kind of goes without saying, but just in case I do use Revolution twice in one of these videos, I don't think I do, but you never know. And then this is just the extended bear. If you have just Assault and Right, what you can do, it's a little more expensive than DB Grinders because you end up being able to make an extra Scarlight on top of your board. So we're going to grab this spell, and then Excel, bring back the Assault, make charge, draw a card. Then we're going to go activate that. Special from deck, the Stardust. Tag out for Stardust. Crimson's unaffected. We'll add Synchro World, activate it. And I did it really fast there, but I made a Scrap Dragon, and then I synchroed off the Scrap Dragon and the Jet into a Gothams. And now we milled for the Revolution, which is the part that's different, and we make a Excel. Now this is where the extra body comes from, because you'll see we'll now tag out into the Trishula, and the cool part is we get a Scarlight, and we also do our normal Rip 5. You can see where this is going. It's the normal thing we've been doing this whole time. I do for some reason do Gothams first. Always do Omega Rips first. Make sure you have that Disbatter as a negate. These are just when I was messing around with combos and wasn't really thinking much of it. But yeah. So yeah, put your Disbatter up first, do your Omega Rips, then do your Gothams Rips. But yeah, Omega twice. You get the picture. Now, let's get into the deck profile real quick. We're timed out due to inactivity, which is expected. This video is way too long, but it's fine. We'll do a little DB animation here. No edits, baby, no edits. We run through. All right, so here's the list. This is actually what I played for the regional, card for card. The only thing that might change is you could cut a Revolution Synchron, but I like having it. I like the Baron line a lot because it plays around Nib. Yeah, another reason you want to search first with your adventure, you search the monster first, is because then you can kind of gauge what tuner you're going to normal summon. Like, let's say you have Jet and Revolution in hand. You don't want to commit to your normal until you search that non-tuner and know that you have that Griffin. Then you normal the Revolution. You don't want to normal the Jet and then not be able to search the Griffin because they ash your Faithful. So that's something to keep in mind. Kind of goes out saying, but yeah. So we're playing the 2-2-2. In case you draw one, you can get the other off Speeder. The one Synchron carrier, like I said, you can search it off your 3 tuning, not once per turn, and the Stardust Trail. The good thing about doing this deck profile now is you can kind of see why I'm playing all these cards. I don't have to explain them too much. The Illumination, 3 Enchantress, Griffin, 3 Right. You have to see your Enchantress, your Right package, or you're pretty much you're cooked. Like, you need non-tuners, so it's very essential you draw them. The rest of the Brave package, Foolish bridges both engines. You can get Jet or Enchantress, which is nice. Small World is just broken. You can add Enchantress or your non-tuners. Small World bridges everything together as well, which is really nice. It gets you your missing piece. And then you have the cross-out targets, the Imperm, Double Droll, Ash, and Nib. Shout out Matt Wiener for telling me to play second Droll. it will come up where you will have your droll, and droll is also part of your small world bridge. And it actually happened to me where I sided out a droll for the shifter because I was going first into Flunder, and then I small worlded I had a Griffin in hand. I small world go Griffin into Droll. I'm trying to get Enchantress. I grab Enchantress and I get Drolled, and I just banish my only Droll. Unfortunate, but it happened. So the double Droll is nice, but also you side one out for the Dimension Shifter if you're playing into Cash or anything that has Shifter for the other crossed out target. This you can bridge with Ash Blossom and Droll because this is level 3. This is Wind and a Spellcaster, and the Nib. You have Called By. You could get rid of this with Small World too, but that's whatever. Called By. I think it's in last minute. Just another way to stop Shifter, stop annoying stuff. Droll. Cross out. This deck really just like thrives going first. You have to play the Field Spell to rip the last card. The crossouts are just nice because you just want them going first. And the 3 Prosperity. This card might seem crazy to people, but you don't play Librarian. You want to see Enchantress. Like that's the bottom line. Is like you have to see Enchantress. So yeah, I mean it's just insane. Also, going second, Prosperity is so broken. So going second, I side out the small worlds usually, unless I'm playing like. I haven't really figured out the siding pattern with Small World because it can bridge into Kurikara, which is nice against like Cash and Purely. But I think I would only keep the Small Worlds in. I don't even know because you don't want to get Eradicator. That's the thing. Like if you're playing Cash, you do not want to get Eradicator. So I sided out all 3 Small World, all 3 Tuning, all 3 Cross Out, the Synchro World, the Called By, going second. And also the Revolution Synchron. You can even side out an Assault if you want to. But yeah, and also you side out the Carrier going second because you side out the Tuning, so you have no way to search Carrier. It loses utility. Yeah, I ended up leaving in the Trail, the Stardust Synchron, and the Synchro World. I mean, not the Synchro World, sorry, and the Stardust Illumination, which sounds crazy because those cards don't really go second very well. But they allow you to break your opponent's board and establish a board, which is really nice to have actually a way to win the game after breaking their board. As you can see, the side deck is just all going second cards because you have to go second. I mean, you have to side all these cards because your deck can't go second by itself. Like it just can't. But if you side 15 going second cards, well, I guess 14 because Shifter, you don't really side in unless it's like a crazy good into the matchup. You can side Shifter. But yeah, these were Twin Twisters for a while. I just thought Cosmic was better into Runic. But you could play Twins. And the books are just for Purely and Cash, pretty much. And the Evenlies just covered the back row matchups and allowed you to break boards. Yeah. Extra deck, I'll just go through by going over them like this. Nothing really stood out. I didn't play the Jet Warrior. I think that's what it's called. Because I didn't play the overtakes, which was nice. Crystal Wing, I only made it once. You could technically cut Crystal Wing. Like, if you want to know the prosperity targets, it's kind of crazy because you have different lines with your Synchrons to make your Loop 5 combo. So depending on which one you have, is the card you have to banish for prosperity. So like some lines, if you're doing the right plus assault line, you need your Stardust Charge Warrior. So like you can't banish that if that's your only card. But other times you're pretty much just banishing these 3. Yeah. Anyways, guys. That was the list. I know it took way too long to talk about all that. Maybe next time I'll break up the combo video and the deck list into 2 separate videos, but that was a lot of different combos. Yeah, as far as the deck performed, it didn't perform super well, but I also wasn't used to playing through hand traps that much, so I was misplaying quite a bit. I've only played the deck twice in tournament at locals before, so before the regional I didn't have much testing. What I did notice was that when breaking a board, like you really want to establish the board, like I was saying before. So like I kind of figured out that like leaving in the trail and the illumination is actually pretty good. So for what that's worth, that's kind of how I figured that I'd go second, and you decide all these. It's still a dice roll deck at the end of the day, but you can lose dice rolls and still win the match for sure. But yeah, Tommy the Hobby Hide out. Later, boys.